Creating success out of failure. Creating success out of failure.
I'm Jonathan Federa. I'm here to inspire you to hustle and grow your income while doing what you love. Just because you have problems doesn't mean you can't prosper. Just because you have tragedy doesn't mean you can't triumph. Actually, you should be taking advantage of that.
There's positivity in my pain. I took scarcity and turned it into strength. I always tell life, there's not much you can do to me where I won't make an obstacle an opportunity. We never lose, we only learn lessons. If you wanna change your perspective. If you don't know how to do that, we'll show you how right now. This is about to go down. You are tuning in to creating success out of failure. Creating success creating success out of failure. Out of failure.
Hey, welcome everybody to today's show. John and Evan here. I want to break down everything that's going on, and we're going to break it down really two ways. The first way is as individuals, how it's impacting you, as you know, the whole pandemic, the coronavirus, and then second, as a business, right? So we cover both on the show, and I have a lot of insight onto both, and I think it's very, very relevant because this thing is impacting us all. Most of us, it's impacting in a negative way. Some of us in a positive way, especially if you own a medical practice or like an essential business that has an uptick because of this. At the end of the day, nobody wants to see this happen, and certainly in my lifetime, I've never seen anything like this, and definitely not in Evan's lifetime. So that was an age joke, by the way, for you guys listening. So let me start off with on a personal level, right? Because I think this stuff is important. One, guys, if you're being locked in place, right, or you have a stay-at-home order, stay the fuck at home. I can't stress that enough. I'm considered an essential business, and most of my people work remotely. The people that work in the office, they are able to work from home. So I've been having them work from home. I come into the office just because I don't want, I don't want people to hear my children in the background, right? So please stay at home. Like I'm driving into the office, I'm going for a run, and the park that's closed has a ton of people in it, and they're all hanging out. And I don't, depending on where you are in the country, some places are locked down, other places aren't. I can tell you that in New York, we have the biggest outbreak, and it's not so bad in the island, like Long Island where I live. Still, there's tons of people out, which blows my mind, okay? Next, use this time to work on yourself, okay? I'm more than halfway through 75 hard. I've dropped about 12 to 13 pounds. I've probably ripped through 15 books right now, probably sitting on 15 books between reading and audiobooks. And that's really helped me. It's really elevated me. And I can't stress that enough. Like this is when you can start getting those good habits in place because you have more time. Evan, you have anything on that?
I mean, I agree. I know for a lot of people out there, the routine has been, you get up, you go to work, you come home, or, some variation of that. But now, especially for those people who are stuck at home, right? Like you were saying with the shelter in place or quarantine or something like that. Especially like if the job was on hold or even unfortunately they're now unemployed or something of that nature. Regardless, if someone out there has more time on their hands now that they're at home, I agree with you. It's a perfect time to change up your routine and work on yourself instead of just, sitting on the couch all day watching TV, which is easy to do, but you're not going to feel good.
Exactly, right. Next, be grateful. I know it's sometimes can be challenging. Be thankful for what you have, right? You're still healthy. You're still alive. You got a roof over your head. If you're listening to this, you definitely have an iPhone or an Android, right? I would bet a lot of money on that. So be grateful. It'll help you get through this and stay positive. Some of the things I like and I'm seeing are like people are using Zoom for virtual happy hours. Be creative. It doesn't mean you can't be social. just don't be going out and throwing Corona parties. That's absolutely reckless. And for the people that are young, like myself, Evan, is it really going to impact us a ton? Probably, hopefully not, unless you have pre-existing conditions. You just don't want to pass it to elderly or people with pre-existing conditions. And I do think the media is blowing this completely out of proportion. Some of it. Okay, I don't think they're doing a good job in that sense. But that's what they do. Negativity, unfortunately, in this day and age sells, and you're going to see more and more of it. So, I don't think we're close to flattening that curve. I think, you could just see everything's increasing, but that's also because of testing, right? Tests are more readily available. My brother's a PA. I don't know if most listeners know that, right? And there's some numbers that are being reported that he said don't really pan out. So it's not as bad. You should still be taking every precaution. I'm not a medical professional. I'm not giving anybody medical advice. I'm just saying the media, they like to over-report and they sell fear, right? So do everything you can to protect yourself, be smart, but don't buy into the panic, like people getting stabbed over toilet paper. That's crazy.
Yeah,
I'm not kidding.
That's a bit extreme.
Somebody got stabbed by a wine bottle in Costco. Saw that on the news. I don't even watch the news. I can't tolerate it. It's that bad. Listen to a podcast or YouTube. Just stay off the news. It'll help you stay positive, more to the point, right?
Yeah, which is a big part of all of this. I mean, sometimes all you really can do is try to stay positive.
Absolutely.
Which can be hard.
You know what? If you're working out, if you're reading, if you're being grateful, if you're doing everything we've spoken about and discussed, it's a lot easier. It is a lot easier. I've been doing that now for the past 40, 41 days, and I feel great, even with all the chaos. I feel clear. I feel mentally sharp. I look a lot better than I have in years. So, work on yourself. Next, if you're not working from home, if you were laid off, there's still a lot of opportunities out there. All right. People don't understand that. I've had probably 5 or 10 people just this week, no ads, buy into my program, Capital Gains. They bought into it for 2 reasons. 1, you can work from home. And 2, demand for businesses getting financing has never been higher, right? So I had about 10 people join my program this week, and they're working from home. There are tons of opportunities for you to work from home. So don't sit back. If something happened, if something changed in your life, don't sit back and feel bad for yourself. Do something about it, And next, and this is a big one, this is like very near and dear to my heart, support local businesses. All right. Every business that depends and relies on foot traffic right now is hurting. Okay. Bars, restaurants, you name it. If you can support them in some way, shape, or form, do it, because your favorite restaurant may not be there when this resolves. All right. Now, next, for unless Evan, you have anything that you want to talk about on the personal side of this?
Well, first, I'd just like to say that I like what you said about how if something unfortunate happened, like you were laid off, it's not the time to just kind of sit back and wallow in that. Although it's okay to feel those feelings, I think it's a perfect time to really, try to move forward and take a step in a different direction as far as working online. Like, there are opportunities out there, and you can make your own opportunities. I mean, I truly do feel like anyone can start an online business if they want, because it's really a matter of what do you know how to do well, what problems can you solve, who has those problems, and do those people have the money to pay you to solve those problems for them? And then, I mean,
that's a great point, but I want to emphasize one thing you said there. What do you know how to do well? Okay. I see way too many people starting online businesses, and they're nothing more than, scams. You know what I mean?
Yeah. You do need to know what you're doing. I mean, I do know, like, I'm a musician myself, and for a while I was going to go into music teaching. And so it's true that in order to teach someone or help someone, you only have to be one step above them, because you want them to go to that step. But you need to know what you're doing, right? You can't just jump into business without knowing what you're doing.
Great point. I want to extrapolate on that further. All right. So if let's just say you're making a coaching program and it's how to get a job making, 6 figures working from home. That's your coaching program. And you list all these things and how to apply. That's great. But if you've never had a job making 6 figures working from home, you have no business making that program. Okay. You have no business running it. Right. That's the fucking truth. I don't care who you are. It's fine. You're right. Coach to the level that you've been. Don't advertise 10 levels ahead, because that's what I'm seeing and that's what annoys me. Right. In my program, there's been a ton of people, a ton of 6-figure earners, and some multiple 6-figure earners, right, on a yearly basis. That's because they put in the work. That's not everybody. Okay. They put in the work and they do very well, and they are great connecting with people, and they really want to help people. All right. I don't advertise that I have 7-figure earners. Why? Because no one's hit 7 figures yet. When somebody hits 7 figures, I'm sure I'll drop it. No one's done it yet, so I'm not advertising that. Okay.
And
That's
everything
important.
will, and like if there's someone out there who does decide they want to venture into the world of entrepreneurship online, it would be more successful. Like some people might think, oh, if I go and pose near some Lamborghini I find in the parking lot and put it off as my own, or if I say I can get you to 7 figures when I've never been there before, you'd think that would make you more successful, but it really wouldn't. If you're just honest, then it'll end up being a lot more successful in the long run.
People want the truth. People will buy into the truth, and they want to know your struggles, right? The more honest and vulnerable you are, the better off you're going to be. So now let's get into, the business side, right? Because I think this needs to be said. I've been making a lot of content on YouTube. If you're not following me on YouTube, it's Jay Federa at Sprout Lending, or just look up Sprout Lending and subscribe to my YouTube channel. Evan's great about putting all our episodes on there as well. There's a lot of content for business and sales on there. All right. So first, it is a tough time for most businesses out there. Today, they finally passed the bill, the stimulus bill, which is going to really help, I think, the majority of businesses that are still holding on. Okay. Some businesses are not able to hold on. I've seen it, like personally. Like I know people that shut their doors because demand shriveled up.
And now neither one of us are, experts, but I'm not sure what that bill is. Do you know more about it? Just out of curiosity.
It's the SBA Relief Bill. It's the CARES Act. There's a bunch, and I'll get into all that, in a little bit, because I've been making a lot of content to it. But before we get into what's coming down the pipe, because there's a lot of misinformation out there, and I want to kind of cut through that, because I've seen way too many people that have never done anything in business finance now become experts and start to put, say they do SBA loans. Okay. That's scary. That should warn you of something, right? I'm all for everybody getting helped. And I, for one, no, I cannot service and help every business out there. I don't have the capacity. I don't have the staff. Okay. One day I hope, and that's my goal, to be able to do that. My fear is that there are people that are just coming into this because they see opportunity and they really don't know what they're doing. And then those business owners are going to lose their business because they're going with people that don't have the experience of getting these things done, right? They don't have the relationships, the tools, and that's a big fear of mine, a big concern of mine. However, let's focus on what you can do now before before going and trying to get these programs. Okay. First off, work on the major projects in your business that you've been putting off. Whatever processes you want to look at and optimize, you should be doing that, right? You guys, business owners, have had 2, maybe 4 weeks off, depending on where you are. And I don't want to say off, but certainly not as busy as usual, right? And everybody has that huge task list of things that they'd like to change and improve on their business. This is the time to do that. Build your machine, all right? Build your machine to last to be able to provide a better experience, to connect with your clients more, this is the perfect time to work on your business and not in your business. And I would venture to say 95% of business owners are guilty of working in their business and not on it. So you can look at this as the sky is falling and the world is ending, or you can look at this as, oh my God, this is the opportunity I've needed to really build the machine that I truly deserve. Okay? I've been doing it myself and I've been super busy. It's just been a different type of busy. Okay? So work on those projects. Analyze every aspect of your business where you can improve, from marketing to sales to retention to constant customer outreach. Okay? So onboarding processes, all that stuff matters. Everything you do in this time makes a big difference. All right. Next, sell gift cards. You guys can sell gift cards. I wouldn't do it if you know that you're not going to be there in a week or two. That's fraud. But you can sell gift cards to help with cash flow. If you're a restaurant, you can do takeout only or delivery. Sign up for Uber Eats. Get a few drivers, right? Stimulate the economy and keep money coming into the business. Next, you should be contacting your clients, maybe running specials. All right, get people, to place orders. Also, see how your clients are doing. That's going to mean a lot. Imagine you're the only business that reaches out in your area to the clients that you usually serve. How do you think that's going to impact them? What do you think they're going to do when everything is lifted and now they have, they want to go out and spend money? Where do you think they're going to go? Right? Simple little things like that to make yourself and your business stand out and to ultimately build the machine bigger, better, stronger. Right? Next, work on key partnerships. There's none. Right now, you can reach out to people that serve the same clients, right? And network and try and see how you guys can help each other. Okay? If you're struggling or cash is low, right? Speak with the landlord. I'm sure they're going to understand. All right? Try to reduce your costs, lower your overhead. Right? These little adjustments that you make now are going to matter big time later. Okay? Adapt, improvise, overcome. So let's just say you're a roofing company, right? I've been helping a lot of roofing companies with. And your usual method is door to door. Well, maybe now's the time to do ads. And maybe you run ads into a Zoom meeting. Okay? So there are ways to get around being in lockdown. It doesn't mean you can't do business. It means you have to innovate and improve. And maybe some of those adaptions that you guys are making stick and make your business that much more efficient.
And I was going to say that I've seen, I've always thought that a lot of businesses out there would be more efficient if they took most of their operations online, right? And help people work remotely and do things like what you said, we're running ads instead of door to door. I think for a lot of businesses, if they're willing to embrace that possibility and if they make those changes and then, like you said, if they do stick, then honestly, they probably come out the other side even better, right?
Yeah, and it also makes them a more desirable place to work, right? So think about it this way. You have, if you can take your entire business online, yes, people are still going to come into the office, but what if, one day a week, everyone can choose to work from home, right? That's a desirable feature, okay? I know businesses right now that, because of all the layoffs, are hiring like crazy. This is a great time to go out and get rock star employees. All right. There's my coach and my mentors, Andy Priscilla and Ed Milet and Ryan Stuman. They're preaching like this pandemic can make or break you. It's a huge opportunity. A lot of people are upset about what's going on, rightfully so. The really successful people are thinking about how to improve through this, how to use this as an opportunity. Okay, you have to find the opportunity in everything. I actually was approached recently to help with a sanitation business. Not like garbage. They come in the office, they put a machine in there, and and it sanitizes the entire office, right? There are people that are innovating through this that are going to make a lot of money, and they're doing it ethically, and they're doing it to help people, right? There are a ton of opportunities in this, and you'd be hard pressed to find ways that you couldn't, improve your business in this situation. You have the time, and if you're resourceful enough, you're going to find ways to get it done.
Yeah.
All right. So next, let's go into some of the, the lending options. And I don't want this to be a pitch for my company or Sprout. We are doing these. We have a ton of these going on. All right. But the bill was just signed. So, Evan, I'll explain it to you. If you have questions, I think you're the perfect candidate because you don't really know lending. So if you have questions, I know some of the listeners will have questions, right?
Yes.
All right. So the SBA guarantees SBA loans, right? There's several different types of SBA loans. I'm going to give the simplified version for you and everybody listening. All right. Traditional SBA loans are working. In this stimulus package, there's an SBA relief loan. What I've been telling clients to do is go for the normal SBA loan. And if they need to get the disaster relief loan after, they can. If you get the disaster relief loan now, you can't get a traditional SBA loan, again this year, right? It disqualifies you. So the way it works is it goes to a processor. We happen to be a processor, or it goes to a local bank. Okay. They did have the site up for a little bit, and people kept crashing it because so many people were applying, right? And what was being said was, well, what people didn't realize, the general public and most business owners, SBA loans are not easy to get. Now, they are loosening their guidelines for this disaster relief. That doesn't mean everybody's going to qualify, right? So they basically jammed up the system. So they kind of took it down, and they're saying it has to go through local banks or processors like Sprout. So what it is the SBA relief, they lowered their guidelines a little bit, and it's a cheaper interest rate. So it's 3.75. And they are, again, I have to go and look at the bill, right? Because I didn't want to talk about this in too much depth, but they have the CARE Act, which is going to help people with cash flow and pay for, keep the businesses open. And then they have the SBA relief, disaster relief loan. Okay, the relief loan is great. So I believe it's going over 10 years, could be longer, and it goes much higher than the traditional working capital loan. All right. It is a loan, though. You should be planning to pay it back. What they're saying is they might turn some of it into a grant based on how the money is allocated. If it's spent on rent, staff, salaries, utilities, the things that keep the doors open, right? So what people need to know is this is not the time to panic, all right? Everybody, if you can show that you've been impacted by this pandemic, which is pretty easy for, I'd say, 80 to 90% of businesses, right? Reach out to a processor. If you want to use my company, that's great. I have a ton of these going in now. Their local banks have not gotten the total mandate yet, so it still is going to take time to process and run through all the applications. All we're doing is getting clients currently in line. Okay, if anybody tells you, oh, I've already done 4 of them, I wouldn't work with them. They're lying, right? So, and if a person has never done an SBA loan or hasn't done a lot of them, I also wouldn't go to them. Why? Because they don't know how to get them done. Okay, this is new, completely new for them. And SBA loans traditionally are not easy. So now you have a lot of people trying to get SBA loans. And I can tell you right now, it's going to matter how they're packaged and who's sending them. Okay? So if you're going to somebody that's just doing this for the first time, you're running a huge risk. All right? And I've seen way too many people pop up that have never done these in the past. So one of the questions you should be asking is, have you done SBA loans in the past? And if so, how many? And maybe even check references, because we've done a ton of them at Sprout. I know there's a bunch of other people that you can use as well. Just make sure you're in good hands. It's more important to me to see businesses get handled and get saved than it is to get every SBA loan out there. I'm happy to work with anybody. My team is out there, doing it. Just make sure you're in good hands. Does that make sense, Evan? Did I explain?
Yeah.
You have any questions on that stuff?
No, I don't think so. I mean, really, one of the big things is to make sure you're going to someone who is legit, right? There are some warning signs to watch out for, which I'm sure a lot of people wouldn't really think to look for otherwise.
Yep.
And yeah, I mean, that I think that if with that knowledge, if someone is looking for an SBA loan like that, it should be. I mean, I wouldn't necessarily say straightforward, but they know what steps to take.
Yep. And now another thing, right? And this is where the opportunity comes in for business owners. Everybody is home. What does that mean? Are they all outside? Probably not. I can tell you right now, a lot of people are on social media, right? Social media usage is up. So what does that tell you? If you're producing content that speaks to your ideal client now, when the lockdown is lifted, I know I keep calling it a lockdown. It sounds so much more serious. When it's lifted, now you have all that content. People are going to know where to find you. If I owned a different business, okay, I'm doing this today. I would be posting 3 times a day. I'd be doing a live video. I'd be putting content on YouTube. I would even reach out to Evan and start a podcast. I'm being serious though. Like, content is being consumed at a higher clip now than ever before because people are bored. People are home. Now, I think we went over a lot for people and businesses, right, going through this. Here's some positives because I think it's important that, I've never seen more people outside getting exercise, at least in my neighborhood. I've actually met my neighbors, and I've lived there for 2 years. I've met people down the block, because I've been going on runs every day. So that's been a huge positive. Also, I appreciate teachers a lot more because my kids have been home. All right? I love my children dearly. They're the most important thing in this world to me. It is crazy having a 5-year-old and a 2-year-old at home with no school, no way to burn energy, okay, for weeks on end. So I definitely have a new appreciation for teachers. Evan, I know you haven't experienced that yet, right?
I've not.
Yeah.
I do not have kids.
It's interesting. I've literally came home a few times this week, and I don't know if they were like downing pixie sticks or what, but holy shit. Like, it was like a Royal Rumble as soon as I stepped in the door, and I'm just trying to decompress,
Wow. Yeah.
Yeah. But it's fun. I wouldn't trade it for the world, So let's just do a little recap. All right? If first off, stay in, okay? Work on yourself, be grateful, read every day, exercise, and stay positive, right? Being grateful will help you stay positive. I can tell you that every time I've worked out early in the morning, my day is so much, I have so much more energy throughout the day, right? And then I usually work out, midday or usually at night when I get home for the second workout of the day. And that's really helped me. Buy local and support local businesses because they need your help. You own a business right now, you should be looking into getting an SBA relief loan. You should be looking into the CARE Act. You should be working and producing content at a rate that you've never done before to reach your ideal clients. You should be looking into selling gift cards. You should be contacting your clients, working on partnerships, and reducing costs, right? That's it. Like, use this time as an opportunity, not an excuse. You will never, I don't want to say never, right? Because, I don't think anyone could have anticipated this. And I don't know if you've seen the meme, but it's hysterical talking about if somebody told you that, it's the year 2020, everyone's on lockdown because somebody ate a bat, Kobe Bryant died. Like, there is this whole long list of stuff. And it's sad And it's like, holy shit, how did we get here? You know, you can use it as an excuse and be miserable, or you can use this as an opportunity that we'll probably never see again in our lifetime. Okay.
Hopefully.
To improve, yeah. Exactly. Hopefully to improve yourself and improve your business. So, you know, that's it. Do me a favor. I want to get this episode out to as many business owners in particular as I can. All right. Because a lot of them don't know where to look, don't know where to turn to. They need to hear this. So if you're listening, you got value out of it, which I'm sure you did, please share this in every group on social media. You know, send it as a text. It's very important to get this message out. All right, Evan, thank you, and we'll see you guys on the next show.
Creating success out of failure.
Thanks for tuning in to Creating Success Out of Failure. Please share this with someone that needs to hear it, post it on social media, and leave us a 5-star review. I'll catch you on the next one.
Creating success out of failure.